11 minutes before 2 p.m. is our time right now. Welcome to Center Stage right here on Power FM Zimbabwe. Get in touch with us. We're also live on Facebook. The Facebook page is Power FM Zimbabwe. And you can also leave your comments. Please like and share the video. This is definitely a conversation that a lot of people have to tune into so that we can gain clarity on when we talk about the Zimbabwean Music Awards, what are we saying and why are we frustrated to voice our concerns? Why are we frustrated with the Zimbabwean Music Awards, which were held over the weekend? Are we happy? If you say you're happy with the awards, you got to tell us why you're happy. But go on to the Facebook page, Power FM Zimbabwe. We got Benjie Nyandoro in the studio, and he's going to be asking questions on behalf of the Zimbabwe Music Awards. Good afternoon, Benjie.
Good afternoon, Chamvary. How are you?
I am good. Well, I'm a bit angry at you, so you have to start off by apologizing.
The apology should come from both of us.
Why? I was here at 12. I was here on time.
My apologies, Chamvary.
Your apologies.
Yes.
No excuses. Just an apology.
No excuses.
All right.
At all.
So we are here to talk about the Zimbabwe Music Awards. But before we get into that, let's talk about you, Benjie. What is your role within the Zimbabwe Music Awards?
My primary role, I'm the marketing and PR person.
Mm-hmm.
Just getting the whole concept out there.
Mm-hmm.
Operation Restart. Getting the whole concept out there,
mm-hmm.
and we did that.
I like how you say Operation Restart. Can I teach you to Operation Restart? What are we restarting? What are we resetting? What are we fixing? What is going on?
ZIMA is the custodian of Zimbabwean music, in Zimbabwean music basically. So when you say Operation Restart, we're looking at a number of factors where ZIMA is supposed to take leadership and say things should be done right. So a lot was happening actually before ZIMA 2020 to ensure that things are done right. What we are currently
a lot of preparation was being done.
A lot was happening.
Okay, when you say a lot of what's happening, what are you saying? Is it
in terms of ensuring that we get things done right? Just from the backdrop of concerns on ZIMA currently are concerns on awards generally. What we are currently experiencing is very much a necessary phase in terms of serious learning. We are taking all valid inputs, and so many of them are valid. And what we look out to do is to actually improve with them on this journey. Yeah.
All right. So, how long did these preparations take? When did we start addressing these concerns?
Concerns is a sort of a continuous process. I'm just talking about the journey that ZIMA has taken.
Yeah, you said
today.
Since the last ones I think were in 2014.
No.
When was the last one?
2016.
2016, actually.
Yeah.
My apologies.
Yeah,
all right,
so
2016 was the last one. And then they were not held in 2017, 2018, 2019, and then they're held in 2020. So when you said we were addressing, were you guys looking at what it is that caused people to have frustrations with them again previously?
The first thing was to establish an institution.
All right.
What has been happening that people used to come together for the awards. This is a major development that has happened at ZIMA. We are now established throughout the year. 365, we have offices, and we deal with ZIMA business every day. So that's a very loud position that we have taken as Zimbabwe Music Awards. So all this, not to speak to the number of years, but getting things in sort of the foundation right. Fortunately, some of our partners actually cement the position that we need to set things right, build the foundation right, and take off. Yeah.
All right. This is going to be a very interesting conversation because there are a lot of questions around the Zimbabwe Music Awards. When you set up the rebranded Zimbabwe Music Awards, what is the main purpose of it?
The main purpose is to participate in the development of arts.
All right.
When you want to recognize music awards, we also equally want to participate in the quality process, meaning that this year going forward, you see that there's going to be significant activities throughout the year that ZIMA is going to initiate and lead. around development of music in Zimbabwe. Yeah.
All right. So now, do you feel like your objective was realized, especially with the ones we had over the weekend?
We satisfied one of the main objectives. One of the main objectives is to hold the Music Awards event annually. So ZIMA 2020 was held on Saturday the 25th of January. We are going to have ZIMA 2021. So we have put the necessary ingredients in place to ensure that every year we do have the Music Awards.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's take us through the process of the Zimbabwe Music Awards. How do artists get to be nominated? How do they? What's the submission process? And then let's start from there. How do the artists get to have their works acknowledged?
We have taken a very simple model. Eligibility is a calendar year. So meaning that those who participated for ZIMA 2020 were eligible from the 1st of January to the 31st of December 2019. So that's the eligible period for participation. Then within that period, we open for nominations. Artists, their managers, labels, then should come forward and submit their works for that eligible period. We opened nominations on the 11th of November this year and closed on the 31st of December. Thereafter, we shortlist. We do a vetting process, and we shortlist up to a maximum of 5 per category.
Right.
That's 160 nominees.
Okay, so out of the people that everybody has submitted, would you care to share that on average, how many submissions did you receive per category?
Oh, that was a lot. The total was over 1,000 submissions, both physical and online.
Wow.
Where the online platform, the online platform performed very well. It helps with data sorting because when you submit in the respective field. So it was then a lot easier to handle online submissions compared to then capture all the hard copies. So we actually encourage online submissions. We got over 1,000 and going towards 32 categories. Yeah.
All right. So how then did you narrow it down to 5 nominees per category out of these 1,000?
It was a rigorous process. We did create a criteria for shortlisting. The first data cleaning exercise is to ensure that the material submitted is eligible, that it is for the period, as I mentioned.
31?
1 to 31.
1 January to 31
December. Yeah. Then, secondly, we have a rule book that we immediately apply to perform the vetting process. And part of the process is already judging because we are now looking for the best 5 out of those who submitted in that particular category. Then we further hit on the scoring on the remaining 5 to come up with the...
Okay, would you care to share, or is this a secret? The rule book is private and confidential and is only privy to those that...
The rule book is online, is on our website. We have shared the rule book countless times on our digital
But just break it
platforms.
down for the layman, for those that need to understand. What are we saying when we say, Kuti, for you to be eligible outside of the criteria, which you said between 1 and 31 December? But what else are we looking at? Are we looking at the number of views you have, the number of tours you've made? What are we looking at?
Each category is unique. We have clustered them into 5.
All right.
We are looking at the artist, male and female. That's the top 5. Male and female. We're looking at the album. We're looking at... we then created a category for the newcomer. So we have the best newcomer in the top 5. Then the second segment, we're looking at genre-based categories. So the effort was to satisfy across all significant genres in Zimbabwe. We did that. We also created special awards where we recognize the videographers, the producers of the works. Then we have the public vote.
I'm going to have to hold you real quickly. These are some of the dangers of starting late. We have to make way for other important activities to happen on the station. So it is just a couple of seconds before the news at 2 p.m. Stay locked. Don't go anywhere. We got Benjie Nyandoro, the marketing and PR executive of the Zimbabwe Music Awards. He's going to explain to us, and he's been explaining to us the process. But after the news, he will continue, and then we're going to open up the line so that you guys can get to have your word in and ask your questions.
It is time for the news. My name is Keith Mawoyo. Crop diversification and other recommended agronomic practices have been identified as key to better yields and food security in the country in the face of climate change. The Department of Extension Services in the Ministry of Land, Agriculture, Water and Rural Resettlement is urging farmers to diversify and stagger planting to ensure better yields. Principal Extension Specialist Chipozi Shiri said apart from crop diversification, farmers should also plant traditional grains. National Joint Negotiating Council NJNC engagements between the government negotiators and civil servant representatives are currently underway in the resort town of Victoria Falls, with the parties optimistic of reaching a deal on the revised salary offer. The negotiations, which are being held on the sidelines of the ongoing NJNC workshop, which runs from the 27th to the 30th of this month, meant to among other things, cover the current macroeconomic issues, collective bargaining skills, productivity in the public sector, and social protection benefits. Public Service, Labour and Social Welfare Minister Professor Paul Mavima highlighted the government's commitment to dialogue and expressed confidence that a deal will be reached during the ongoing engagements. The Eastern Highlands will be a hive of activity next month with the 2020 edition of the Bonacqua Troutberg Atu Triathlon Africa Cup to be held on the 22nd of February. The competition was officially launched in the capital today, with event director Rick Fulton expressing hope the competition will register at least a 25% increase in the number of participants. Coca-Cola has again partnered with the Zimbabwe Triathlon Union through its Bonacqua brand, extending a union that has been in existence for 5 years. And that's it for the news. Join us at the top of the hour.
Strap yourself in, because we're set up, switched on, and ready to go. Power FM,
Zimbabwe's #1 music station.
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. We want to celebrate our Super 16 in a big way. On Saturday, 1 February 2020, Power FM is throwing the biggest ever Super Sweet 16 birthday party at Mashwede Village in Harare from 12 midday till late. It's free and free. Come and celebrate with your Power FM presenters as well as some of your favorite artists. Power FM at 16.
Unlike the other radio stations that copy and paste, we stay original.
We are Power FM Zimbabwe. Strap yourself in, because we're set up, switched on, and ready to go. Power FM,
Zimbabwe's #1 music station.
Gatinete, Tegate.
Chino wanza pesa ni savanu tu. Pano danana imai. Nemu tauro kubago hamane shamngai. But the 32 taga fari wa mugadeni. Gatti famo zedu tiji temba simbaramngai.
Ina dipendaka siyo dinoda. Rudo wangu dino paiwe. Baby hapana chino shota. Andi bakusia nenyota.
So unoda. Ini ndoita chero. Hasi usa zonchisa mchero. Vimpi kapandiri chingweita wani mufero.
Baby don't nada.
5 minutes past 2 o'clock, and welcome back to Center Stage right here on Power FM Zimbabwe. Big shout out to the news desk. They gave us the news that came through at 2 p.m. Another update will come through at 3. And then step down for the hard drive with Elder Squilla and Butterfly Funk coming through between 3 and 6 o'clock. All right, so in the studio this afternoon, we've got the marketing and PR manager for the Zimbabwe Music Awards. We got Benjie Nyandoro in the studio, and we were talking about the Zimbabwe Music Awards that were held on Saturday. So before the news, he was explaining about the submission process and how exactly they come up with 5 nominees per category. And he also explained that they've got a rule book. They also look at is your song eligible or is your work eligible for the period which is between the 1st of January and the 31st of December. And so far, I'm sure we all understand what that process was about. But now coming back to the Zimbabwe Music Awards, the actual awards, right? One of the things that people were very frustrated about is when the nominations came out, a lot of people seemed to be happy with everything. But the issue came on the day of the awards. And now we need to talk about that. What happened at the awards, Benji? Why did these awards start late?
Okay. We had 2 segments on the 25th. Mm-hmm. The first segment was the Red Carpet Affair.
Yeah.
Where the Red Carpet Affair running from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Then the awards thereafter, running up until 11 thereabout.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what happened at ZIMA. We had all 32 categories taken. The awards were given out, all the 32 gongs.
All right, but why did the event start late? People were not expecting the event to start around 9 p.m.
The event is start around 9 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
This event
the awards, okay. You said the
started,
event
yeah.
When you talk about the red carpet, but the awards, they started at 9 p.m. And a lot of people, a lot of journalists on social media, people were frustrated that these awards were late.
I say it's quite commendable because it is also something that we want to put much emphasis on in terms of if we're saying we're starting at 8, we actually start at 8. But that doesn't then give what happened to sort of room to say it was what we had planned to do. But if you find that there is cause of significant concerns around an hour's shift, then we are doing well in terms of the culture. The culture is changing, and I'm actually happy that the culture is changing that much. But we don't have a major glitch that happened on the day. With
everything went according to plan.
Yes, we are. No.
All right. So for those that may not be aware, we're just going to give you real quickly some of the highlights of the Zimbabwe Music Awards. So as he said, there are 36 categories. And, for the Best Female Artist of the Year, there was Gemma Griffiths. Best Male Artist, Aishan. Best Pop Duo was Fusion. Best Newcomer of the Year, Aishan. Best Album of the Year was Gango with Freeman. We're not going to go through the whole list, but these are some of the highlights. Genre Awards, Zim Dancehall, Freeman won. In Hip-Hop, Takura won. In Afropop, Aishan won. In Contemporary Gospel, Janet Manyoa won. Traditional Gospel, Mambo Dutere won. R&B and Soul, Gemma Griffiths won. And then we also had one that was spoken about a lot on social media. It's best collaboration, Mugaden, Winky D featuring Gemma. Best DJ Stavo. Best promoter, Impala Car Rental. Best corporate sponsors, Econet Wireless. And then we also then look at the producer of the year. There was Oskid was the winner. Engineer of the year, GT Beats was a winner. And public vote category, Song of the Year, Mugaden, Winky D featuring Gemma Griffiths. So it has been said that the public vote category, this is where you, the listeners, and you, the fans, were given the opportunity to vote for which you felt had to win the Song of the Year. However, the other awards categories were won according to the adjudication panel, right?
You're right.
Okay, so when we look at this list here, can you just give us an insight into the adjudication panel? Who was in it? Who came up with this list of the winners? Is this something that you can share with us?
It is something that we can share, and I can actually throw out names, but I will be jumping the gun. We have an official release that the panel is going to lead. It's in response to many of these
Concerns.
said gray areas. So I would ideally not do that. But these are known people. They are active in the music industry. They have a roles that they played with regard to music promotion in Zimbabwe. So they are not novices. They are actually a competent team that came together to do the judging.
All right, so you said, and I quote, that you cannot tell us right now who they are. There's a panel that's going to come and give us the adjudication panel list.
Yeah, the very same judges are coming forward.
They're going to come forward. All right, can you give us the criteria then? Can you tell us what professions they are in, so that we have a perfect understanding? Because for us to wait while tempers are still
we have journalists
very hot right now.
We have journalists. We have not seasoned DJs. We have DJs.
Why wouldn't you say seasoned?
Because that become a center of contention. It's from you particularly. You say, why was I not in that particular panel? So there were DJs, journalists, academics. One of them is from the Department of Music at the University of Zimbabwe. So we did satisfy across to ensure that the process gives us the best out of what was submitted. To underline that from what was submitted. Actually, we can talk about that. That was one area where conversations were raised on missing names. The model that we employed in 2019 was on submissions. Yeah.
All right. So if you didn't submit your work, there's no way you're going to be nominated.
Yeah, there was no way.
All right. So now we look at this list that came out. The winners, they were announced on Saturday, and social media went crazy with a lot of people feeling like certain people were not deserving of certain awards. And one of the biggest bones of contention have to be with the best hip hop category, whereby Takura won an award for best hip hop in a category where he had the other nominees were T Guans, King 98, Asaph, as well as Calvin. So the issue there is, why is Takura being given an award, yet he didn't release a hip-hop song in 2019? And if one may argue that there is a hip-hop song that is out there, you have artists like King 98, who had a big album launch, has been touring and so forth. You've got artists like Asaph, who's had a lot of collaborations. Calvin has also released quite a number of songs in 2019. T Guans was basically in hip-hop the one who was making the most noise in 2019. So where does an artist like Takura fit in order to win an award like that?
It does. What I may not, in terms of the PR brief that we have, what I may not be able to actually do right now is to get into the details of the scoring sheets.
But I thought that's why you're here, though, to clear the air on this, because then it means that this interview is not going to go, it's not going to gain, no one's going to gain clarity from listening to this if you're going to say we still have to wait for a document that is out there.
We're not waiting for a document. What we have is a process that I'm actually walking you through, where it involved the ZIMA Secretariat giving the authority to a competent judging team to actually perform judging. So what the outcome we get from the team is what we are saying are the results. Post that, from the concerns raised, that is where we said we actually had to set up and take the judge to have the judge to take a lead in actually sharing the process that they actually had to go through. So it's a competence space that we're discussing, which I said the judges were actually delivered that particular service. Yeah.
So with this being answered, is there any can I continue to ask about why certain people are frustrated? Because certain people, one, who they feel, who a lot of listeners, a whole lot of fans feel like maybe as deserving as they are, because they did make an effort and impact in the industry, but there were others who worked a lot harder than the others.
Do you know what I can say is the concerns are valid. What I cannot say, or ZIMA, out of the contracting of services, because also number two, with an independent auditing firm to ensure that systems are adhered to. So what we cannot do is to jump and say, fine, thank you with the process, but we feel. So we want to take away we feel element and let whatever systems that were put in place to take the lead. So what we may then have to discuss is whether these systems do reflect. Then maybe we can discuss disrupt the system.
All right.
Yeah. So if we can discuss disrupt the system, that's something else. But did we adhere to the systems signed off by an independent auditing firm? Yes. Did we interfere with the process? No, because that was part of the clear terms that we are the executive, the secretariat of Zimbabwe Music Awards, and we constitute a judging team that is going to perform the judging process. It has been a bone of contention that members of the secretariat of respective award systems or awards may have inclinations, and those inclinations may reflect in the outcomes.
May be affiliated in one way or another.
Everyone has an inclination as a human being. They have inclinations. There's certain sets of music.
All right. Like for example, if I was, we're using Tigwan's in instrumental right now on this interview. If I was to be put on the adjudication panel, and then Tigwan's wins, you're saying that maybe when I'm going to say Kechama feelings good, but Chamvary, any affiliation at Tigwan's, that's why Tigwan's won. But you're saying that we have an auditing firm that came through and ensured that everything was above board.
Yes, including us not interfering with the process. We did as much made the system to reflect the judging more and less about personal feelings, even of the judges themselves. So to an extent, that's why you're asking a certain category may have certain two different categories may have the same artist winning them because of the silo approach that went into respective categories. So you're judged on the basis of your submission on that in that particular category, independent of that you have been judged again in a different and particular category. So yeah.
But Benjamin, I feel the question still will not be answered, and I will ask you again: do we have to wait until this document or until the adjudication panel releases this information into the public for us to get the necessary answers that we need? Because people need answers to know why Gemma Griffiths got an award in a category whereby Tammy is there. Tammy has released how many songs last year? And Gemma only released one of her own. And then, she spent most of 2019 touring within the Land Rover with her boyfriend and less on music. But Tammy had been pushing. I'm basing on what I've seen on social media. And so it's nothing personal. These are facts, right? Then Tammy has been doing what she's been doing. Amara Brown has been doing what she's been doing. And we also have other artists that have also been doing what they've been doing in this category. Shasha has been doing what she's doing. Janet Manyowa is sitting at number 1 on a satellite TV channel, right? And the top 30. So this is where people want to understand so that we continue to have faith in the Zimbabwe Music Awards and in other music awards that are going to come through as well.
What I can honestly tell you is that we are going through what we call system disrupt, meaning that we are reflecting on the system. What I will definitely not say is to, without a due application, apply why we actually created a system. So I can't, and even on behalf of ZIMA, then come out to then say the system that we employed, let's disregard it and start to work with how we generally feel about it. So that becomes how we generally feel about it. When we applied the system, it was done judiciously. So it may have come up with an outcome that is not a preferred or publicly preferred position,
All right.
which is a very valid concern. So if it doesn't come up with that, it does not follow that at ZIMA we're going to say, so hang on, what is the general feeling? So let's work with that. Let's withdraw an award and give it to the deserving.
Well, maybe
it actually
may not be
defeats.
yes, exactly.
It actually defeats the system that we created.
I agree.
So the purpose may be then to say system disrupt. Let's have a conversation on what then should be done to ensure that
Which
the
is
next
why-
awards reflect the public preferred or inclination.
Which is why I was asking about the criteria process, so that everybody then can understand why we're saying that this one had to win. Maybe it's also we're catching feelings. Maybe the country is catching feelings, yet we are not well informed. Or maybe we didn't read the rule book as vigorously and as thoroughly as we should have to understand what criteria is being used when an artist like Aishan is winning Best Male Artist of the Year award, yet you've got Freeman, who had a big album launch. You've got T Gonz, who's been working. You've got ASAP, who's been working. And again, this is not to say that he's not deserving. No, but this is so that we understand and social media stops. You stops catching feelings over the wrong things. We stop majoring on the minor. Yes. So let's go and open up the lines, 498-652 and 498-654, 0712-831-172. That is the WhatsApp number. Do you feel that Zimbabweans, since ZIMA has happened first in award season, that Zimbabweans still are going to have faith in the Zimbabwean Music Awards?
We are going to implement a system disrupt. System disrupt first is saying rules are not designed for people to follow them, but rules are designed for them to reflect what actually people want and to protect those who are participating in the process from interference.
All right.
So that is the primary reason why the main purpose is to create a very even, fair play field across all participants. So System Disrupt seeks to implement that, seeks to get the public, actually, please come forward to then participate in a model that works, in a model that reflects a public inclination. ZIMA is here to stay. ZIMA is a lot bigger than the few individuals that you can actually point to, the Benjamins and the Nyadzayos. ZIMA is a lot bigger. It's the institution that is supposed to recognize and award Zimbabwean music for Zimbabweans that reflect what actually transpired in the preceding year.
498-652 and 498-654. We're taking your calls right now. Get in touch with us. Ask your questions. Also hit us up on social media, Facebook and WhatsApp. We got a question here that says, my question is, did Takura submit a song and which song was it?
Oh, okay.
Is this something that you need to check?
It's something. No,
Okay,
not necessarily that we had 1,000 plus songs. So if I'm quick to hit on Takura, then so much that.
All right.
So I can look it up. We have all the records, even online on our Facebook page, Twitter account. We have the list of nominees against the songs that
All
they
right.
submitted. Yeah.
All right. So you right now you don't have it offhand for this person.
Yeah,
that
we
asked
can
for it.
look it up.
All right. You go ahead and look it up
Yeah.
while we take a call. Power FM, hello. 498-652 and 498-654. Power FM, hello.
Hello,
Yes, hi. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Tinashe from Safara.
All right, Tinashe, go ahead with your question for Benjamin.
Okay, ndata kubvunza kuti ma-awards aya what's happening, because you cannot say kuti munhu akaita saAishan anotora best male when you've got T Gonz. What is Aishan doing that T Gonz didn't do, or didn't do times 2 or times 3?
All right. Thank you very much. He said these awards. What is it? His concern is how can Aishan get an award, and what is Aishan doing that T Gonz didn't do in 2019?
Yeah, I think we are back to the same question. We do so much appreciate these concerns, and as much as they are coming in like this, they make us actually give so much attention to the process that we employed. But what I can say is that judging was very much structured in a system where an outcome was not predetermined.
Do you?
So outcomes do surprise you. Now it's a
They do,
question of
yeah.
now. Yeah, I appreciate that. Now outcomes they do surprise you. Is it a reflection of system flaws? Let's discuss that. But the system is quite.
But you're saying system flaws is you telling us. You have to tell us. Is it?
No,
because
not
we can't tell you.
Not you telling us on the flaws of the system, but the amount of violent disagreement on the outcome.
All right.
It poses the need to reflect on.
Okay.
That's my point.
All right.
But as we designed the system, it was really meant, and it is, to ensure that there is insignificant, if any, interference on the judging process.
All right. In award ceremonies, there's never really been award ceremonies without any bones of contention. I mean, look at Kanye West going on stage twice to say Beyonce was more deserving. But was she more deserving than Taylor Swift? So these issues will always come out. But in an instance whereby this is an awards show which is coming back and is promised us bigger and better, we always have to then question where is the bigger and better that we were promised. Power FM, hello. 498-652-154. Power FM, hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Kuda calling from Arare.
All right, go ahead with your question.
All right, it's okay. I actually wanted to correct your guest in the studio. Like the way he's saying out things, like you're saying ZIMA is so much bigger than the Fadzai and the whatever name he highlighted. I don't think that's proper to say, because this is a board that was chosen to represent the music of Zimbabwe. And when he says it on air, kuti ZIMA yakakurisa, like arikupfurika vanhu vesawa kuti they are just but nothing. I really don't think that you were supposed to have said that. Rather, if there are concerns that the public are bringing up, I think they should attend to that. Because as far as people are concerned, there was no fairness in how the judging was done. So just to correct him, it's not proper to say this board is far much bigger than the opinions of the public when they are saying they are serving the public.
All right, thank you very much for your contribution. Benji, would you like to respond to that?
Oh yeah, these names that I referred to, she's probably confirmed that she doesn't know the persons. These are the members of the secretariat and the chairperson of the awards body. We are saying that us as individuals, the music awards go beyond us as individuals. So the call to protect the integrity of the body is what we all seek to do. So it was very much a metaphoric gesture to say ZIMA is a lot bigger than Benjie Nyandoro. I am Benjamin, and the chairperson is Joseph Nyadzai. So those are the two names I mentioned to say that we all have a role and a calling to actually protect the integrity. And this what is happening is a testimony or a test to the level of interest. And it's a challenge that is being called by the public to the secretariat to actually do things better. We take the hit, and more importantly, we are aligning to ensure that ZIMA 2021 is a true reflection of the public inclination.
Because when you say the awards, I need to understand. When we're doing awards, who are we doing it for? Yes, we say we're rewarding the artist, but who really are we doing it for? Because the artist doesn't make music for themselves. The artist does it for the listeners, for the fans. So now when these guys are not happy, as ZIMA, don't you think that you also now need to listen to the people, what they are saying, in order for this awards to be credible? Because also another thing that the ZIMA had, the big artists didn't show up for the awards.
Follow system disrupt, number one. We are going to have quite an intensive exercise.
But is this something that you did not do beforehand, Benji? I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
You said at the start of this interview that you guys were working on making this event even bigger. The 2020,
yeah, true.
You were working on making it bigger. So during the time that there were no ZIMAs, you guys were working on creating a model that is going to be respected, and model that's going to restore and instill faith in award systems.
The first...
so did you not speak to the stakeholders? Because the public are the stakeholders.
We did. The first success criteria that we must look at is actually allowing the judges to take the lead independently.
Okay.
We did that. and that's a major success item that we can discuss. Why I'm talking about reflection, it is because post implementation of this particular system, there are concerns being raised, and we are taking input of those concerns to then say implement system disrupt. System disrupt means that let's take all that in the way that after the entire process, we are so much sure that it does reflect. Because as we go with the awards annually, we are here to stay as ZIMA, the model that we have actually created. They should come to a point where the significant participation of the public plays major in judging. Case in point are the 2 awards that were on a public vote. The first one is the Song of the Year, and then the most downloaded song. We did utilize a credible platform for both of those particular categories. And I also want to say that we did not get significant participation of the same public on the public vote. It did go their way in courts. Had it gone otherwise, it was exclusively a public vote decision. So we encourage the public to actually participate in the public vote, because it actually reflects your inclination. So if it means let's invest a lot in public participation in these categories, then that is the route to take.
All right. 498652 and 498654. Power FM, hello.
Hi.
Hi. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Tida. I'm calling from Harare.
Tida.
Nyandoro.
Di Magasimbere.
Ndinosimba ndibvunzewo. Pane munhu asingazivewo kuti vamutukudzi vakashayika musi wa26 January
23
January gore rapera 2019. Wouldn't it have been befitting kuti munhu akaita saiyeye apiwe a lifetime achievement award as a way of celebrating his legacy, like in a memorably, since award akaitwa muna January number 1. I mean, frankly, giving somebody like Andy Brown, hana award akawina is justified. But frankly speaking, I think we're very unfair on an international icon like Oliver Mtukudzi. I think he deserves an either retro or an a lifetime achiever. And in Inangu, I don't know how Nicholas Zakaria deserved an award as opposed to one Panganayare, who really made noise in the music industry. And Vana Minister Mike Mayendere, Avanagana, Savaka released last year, but they got into your selection panel. I mean, into your shortlist when you say there are 20 January, like 1 January 2019 up to 31st of December. Credibility. And how do you expect the corporate world to take you seriously, let alone the public in Zimbabwe? Really, I think to be serious. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm sure you heard what he said. What's your response?
Yes, thank you so much. I think first to comment that he really is following my developments.
Yes, he is.
He is following my developments of the music awards. Thank you so much. What he is raising is what I may not necessarily say it then drive to say, may you please take back those awards and give them to this person. We did work with a judging system that came up with those outcomes. The judging system is now being put to system disrupt on the basis of the significant calls that are coming from the public regarding how it then come up with those particular winners. But it was out of that particular system.
But Benjamin, at the end of the day, everybody's bone of contention is tell us Tizive. So we support you, Tiziva. What is your manifesto? Tizive, this is what we're supporting. Because right now you're giving us, I'm really sorry, but you're giving us PR answers.
No, they're not.
And they are PR because you're not telling us what we need to know. We need to know why. Okay, let's look at Best Promoter. Best Promoter, there was Impala Car Rental, there was Bry Out Zimbabwe, there's Two Kings Entertainment, and there was Pablos. There's also an uproar there because some sects feel like Impala Car Rental has basically sponsored King 98 more than any other artist. So other artists are like, oh, okay, but what have they done for us? And then you have also Best Corporate Sponsor, Econet Wireless winning. Other people are also like, okay, why? Is this because of Buddy Beats? What about the rest of Delta with its it's Castle Bryouts and Bry Fest and stuff. So these questions are being asked, but there are answers that are needed. Why did this one win? Give us numbers. Give us something. Even Song of the Year. People need to know. Best video. Ngai Bake. How did Ngai Bake win when there is Janet Manyoa, there's Jemoyo, there's Queen V with Vavengi? Are we talking YouTube numbers? What are we talking? We need to know. We need to know. And I do appreciate the fact that you're saying there's Pane Vangwevanu who are in a position who are supposed to, the adjudication panel is supposed to come through. You don't want to take, I cannot comment on Power FM business because I'm not the station manager, neither am I the PR person. But Pane Pamwe Pegutisha, Wawia Panap, you're on center stage. Give us the answers that we require. Don't come here and give us PR. And tell us to wait for a document. We can't do that.
It's not a document. It is just like how the recognition of the concerns has been made by Zimbabwe Music Awards.
We acknowledge that you recognize our concerns because you need us. But give us the answers we are asking.
The first thing that we have done as the recognition is to constitute this same judging team to come forward and have that session. The moment I go into the session on one item, I have to satisfy all and become in the same process that we said we are not going to do. To significantly participate in the process. So we did give and afford the judging team that authority to exercise their competency on judging.
All right.
So that one is coming. But what I've actually said is that the recognition has been done. And what we are doing is basing on the recognition of the public concern. I can take you on like one of the categories, Song of the Year. Song of the Year was put on a public vote on one of the mobile networks in Zimbabwe. And we did receive scores of the results that we can actually share with you. The results that
of the Song of the Year.
Yes.
I don't think the Song of the Year is a bone of contention. Well, it is. In some sects, people believe Kuti maybe Aishan should have won, Kure should have won as opposed to Mugaden. But parukupisa Benjie ndopandroda kuti undipindure ababa. Pekuti how did we arrive at corporate sponsors? Is it because we were using their platform for our votes? Is it Best Promoter? How did we arrive there? And then Best DJ. What was the criteria for Best DJ?
Okay, let me go to corporate and platform. With regard to why that particular corporate was then selected, firstly, they were looking at how much each corporate is contributing towards growing the music industry. So growing the music industry is about creating revenue space for the respective artists for their trade, whatever spaces what they are working at. And Econet created a platform called Buddy Beats.
Buddy Beats, yeah?
Yeah. And there are testimonies of musicians who are actually against the tide of pirates, starting to earn some little income,
which is a good thing.
Yeah, income out of that. So it's sustaining certain spaces. So that was the basis. The same with the platform. The platform was a call that was made by ZIMA to all mobile networks. And then this is what we got. Ideally, we would have looked at getting all mobile networks participate
on board.
Yeah, so this is also a call that we need to do. And
all right, let's just take calls because this one's been ringing for a while. Power FM, hello.
Yeah, hello, Ziti.
Diripo, Drutana Nan. Nani?
From Joara Seko.
All right, Tara Yenyuna Benjie, Vunzenyu.
ndaida kupa komendo ni nyaya mawadzi kuti pane zvimwe zvinhu zvekuti kana zvakawandirwa kasvo vanozonyanyaita matwist stereki like iyo nyaya yatakura yekuti vataura kuti munhu kana kuti akadzisa one track kunzi anotora awadi hazvinyatsobude kuhip hop at least vakaimprova next time ka zvinoitawo kuti waonoka credit because vanhu vanenge vakudhauta manje mazima aya kuti zvimbofamba sei.
All right, thank you very much. Do you have to comment on that, or can we get
We can get another call.
All right.
Thank you for
498-652 and 498-654. This is the time. Get your questions asked and answered. Power FM, hello.
Hi, Chamvary.
Hi, what's your name and where are you calling from?
And Tinashe from you.
All right, Tinashe, you let's have your contribution.
Okay, that of Mazima, they're based on judges' votes, they're not people's votes.
Were they based on judges' votes or were they based on people's votes?
cinema categories that were handled by the judges, and the other categories were handled by the public vote. This is one thing that we may need to pause out there. If it's going to be a significant call that the public seek to participate in every, I think some that we recommend that we tailor around that. The public votes were on the Song of the Year and the most downloaded song. And then the rest of the categories were out of a judicial system that was employed by the judges.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, can you just address on this best DJ? What was the criteria for this one? Were you looking for club DJs, radio DJs? What were you looking
Across all DJs. Across all DJs, yeah.
for? All right. Power FM, hello.
Hello, Chamvary.
Hi, what's your name and where are you calling from? All right, try more. Go ahead with your contribution. Okay, we lost try more. Power FM, hello. 498-652 and 498-654. Power FM, hello. Power FM, hello. Hello.
Hi, Chamvary.
Hi, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Munashe from Zarasigwa.
All right, Munashe, go ahead with your contribution.
Ndandabvunzoka Nyandoro kuti song yatakura inonzi zvemoyo inofollow in which category?
And song yatakura zvemoyo, which falls in which category?
Okay. How we structured my submissions. Yes, that was the song Jemoy. How we structured submissions. There were submissions that were judged on a particular song, and then there were submissions judged on the artist and the respective works. So specific submissions targeting the song had to have the song being judged. Categories avari kufunza hip hop. They were not on a specific song. They were on the artist and the respective works.
But he has no hip hop song for 2019, Mr. Nyandoro.
That is for the artist and the respective works.
All right.
Yeah.
Their respective works.
Yeah.
When we say respective, we're saying other works they have.
So we I know you want me to get into the details of.
We do want to understand,
yes,
because everybody else on that best hip hop has hip hop songs, and Takura is an amazing artist. If we judge based on Mungandidi, if we judge based on Zinoirema with his trap songs, we can understand that is hip hop. It's inclined to hip hop, but Jemoyo is not a hip hop song, unless you say he submitted his work under hip hop, because you said this is based on submissions.
Yes.
So he submitted his work under hip hop.
Yes.
All right. So there you have your answer. Takura is the one who submitted his work under hip hop. So maybe that's how he ended up being there. As for now, the adjudication part, I think that's where we're gonna have to wait for the document. 498-652 and 54. I'm gonna take two more calls. We need to round off this interview. Power FM, hello.
Hello.
Hi. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Chico. I'm calling from Montogo.
All right, Chico. Go ahead with your contribution.
There are two issues. One, they would teach. From voting processes, especially online and everything, how are they accounting for people who have access to data? And then number two, songs, guidelines when they are shortlisting, whatever, my songs and my artists. Because the public, they are quick to remember when it's very recent. And then January, February, so I don't know what to compose. They're supposed to be people who give guidelines, but masongs ari kutarisa ndeaya, even to mention by names, because you vane history data in everything.
All right, thank you.
So I think that's my contribution.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Nyandoro, please respond to that one.
Oh yeah, the voting platform yanga iri SMS based. It was an SMS based platform, and we did negotiate to ensure that they are not charged premium rates.
All right.
So they were the normal SMS charges that you send a text.
All right.
So that was what was put out on the voting platform.
What about one Misha that he spoke about?
Ndio wanokwanisa kushandisa text message kambudzi kake kanokwanisa kutumira text. So that's in the internet. So kuti if you are able to send an SMS waitokwanisa kuvota.
All right. Last caller, you have to make it count because you're closing off the show for today. 498652 and 498654. Power FM, hello.
Hello.
Hi, what's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Jed. I'm calling from Kwazana.
Jed.
Richard.
Oh, Richard, sorry. Go ahead with your contribution.
Vakuru vanofana apologize kuti vakaita mistake because kana vanhu vese hapana rububhira nezvavakaita izvi votikadziswa mazimari nani.
All right. Is that all?
All
right. Thank you so much.
We also encourage you to participate in our System Disrupt. We are going to be going out there in terms of taking these reflections. They are very important. They're very valid.
Yes.
We seek to ensure kuti vanhu varambe vari engaged. Zimbabwe Music Awards are for Zimbabweans. Our major stakeholders, musicians. Musicians are the primary stakeholder in Zimbabwe Music Awards. Thank you to those who participated 2020, ZIMA 2020, against many different odds. But we pulled through, and we had an event, Yangairi Bo, on Saturday. And we are set for ZIMA 2021. And this is ample time to ensure that we do and have things done right going forward. They are going to reflect the public view. We understand that the system that we created is and was meant to reflect the public interest. There is no way as ZIMA Patakagara to design a system. It is not the case. But what we are doing is taking all this input with the seriousness it is coming with to say system disrupt.
All right. Before you go, I have a question, and I do notice that out of consultations with some of my other presenters, my co-workers here and colleagues, who did you guys invite? I know it was invite-based to come to the awards. Who did you guys invite? Because us, the radio presenters, were not invited. I did not receive an invite. I checked with my other colleagues. They didn't receive invites. So are we not stakeholders in this as well?
You are a major stakeholder. We did have a hybrid system, invites and ticket sales. We sold tickets. We sent out invites. Invites were...
So were you expecting us, the radio DJs, to buy invites to come
we
to the
did
event?
send invites per radio station, per media house. We sent invites to all, primarily those who actually came and followed the press release that we have. Immediately we said...
But when you had your press releases, Benjie, I was on radio.
Let me finish the structure or stratas of the invitations. So outside those who came to the press conference, we invited their media houses additional to that. And then we sent part of our sponsorship agreement was to then have table sitting 10 of the corporate sponsors that have come on board.
Yeah. As is with most business models for awards and stuff.
Yes. So those were the invites that went through. And then we had 160 nominees. So plus one. That is already 320 invites. Yeah. So all of these things that you are raising at Power FM.
Not at Power FM, on lunchtime radio.
On lunchtime.
I'm not speaking on behalf of the radio station.
On lunchtime.
Yes,
on lunchtime radio. No, not what you are saying. The platform that you have created for people to come and talk to us. we reach out to you, Power FM, to create more of these platforms
Yes.
as we implement System Disrupt. Let's do this together to ensure that once we come up with a product, it is also attached to Power FM.
Thank you very much, Benjamin.
So good.
And so if people if they do want this document when it is released, how can they get it?
Actually, it's coming on a press release structure where questions are going to be hazarded to the judging team. Yeah. So it's coming shortly. It will be announced the same way we have held press releases of.
We'll get more information on that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for making time this afternoon to come through to Center Stage. And I do hope questions were answered. If they have not been answered, how can people get in touch with ZIMA?
Physically, we are at the Corso building, 10th floor. That's corner 3rd and Central Avenue.
All right.
And then we are online, actively online across all platforms. And then we on those platforms we have dedicated numbers that you can call and yell at us. We are open to taking all submissions at this juncture. Please work with us. We want to make use of this time till we get to ZIMA 2021.
All right.
With a clean
slate.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming through.
Most welcome. Thank you.
Well. And they go round. Chamvary, the lunchtime rocker, lunchtime radio na Chamvary. Boom! Alembe, Chamvary.